Welcome to this explainer. Today we're cutting straight through all the university marketing hype to give you a radically honest, completely data-driven look at the top 3 study destinations for international students in 2026. We're looking at the USA, Canada, and Ireland. Look, if you're a focused learner trying to map out your future right now, you don't need sales pitches. You need the facts, you need the risks, and you need the real numbers.
So, let's just dive right in by acknowledging the massive stakes up front. $50,000 to $200,000. That's the amount of family savings you are likely preparing to invest in your international education. It is an astronomical sum of money, and honestly, it means there is absolutely no room for a decision based purely on brand names or, outdated reputations.
So the core question we have to answer is this: where should you invest your future in 2026? Because the game has changed. With shifting rules, new study permit caps, like the ones recently introduced in Canada, and highly restrictive visa lotteries defining the landscape this year, you really need to know exactly what you're getting into before you pick a destination and pack your bags.
Here's our agenda to get you that clarity. 1. The stakes in 2026. 2. The true cost of study. 3. Visas and the long game. 4. Salaries in tech hubs. 5. Safety and quality of life. And 6. Your decision framework.
Just to give you the big picture right away, choosing your destination is essentially a balancing act. You're weighing high-reward career potential against rising costs and immigration risks. The USA gives you a high-reward, high-risk environment. Canada provides predictable, stable residency. And Ireland? Well, it offers a surprisingly affordable, safe path that actually connects you to full EU citizenship.
Section 1. The true cost of study. Looking beyond the tuition sticker price.
Okay, the initial tuition fee your university quotes you, that's really just a fraction of the story. When you look at the maximum estimated all-in costs for a standard 2-year master's, and we're talking living expenses, rent, groceries, plus all those hidden fees that always manage to pop up, the differences are pretty staggering. The USA caps out at nearly $168,000. Canada sits firmly in the middle, but Ireland is a distinctly cheaper option, costing roughly half of the US total. If upfront financial accessibility is a top priority for you, this is a data point you literally cannot ignore.
And let's talk about a prime example of those hidden costs I just mentioned. Sure, the US has prestigious, world-renowned institutions, but mandatory expenses like F1 student health insurance, that can drastically inflate your budget by up to $5,000 a year. Compare that to Ireland, where mandatory private insurance runs around €80 a month, or Canada, where you're often completely covered by provincial health plans. It really adds up.
Section 2. Visas and the long game. Navigating post-study immigration pathways.
Getting accepted into a university is really only step 1. Staying in that country to work, to actually earn back your investment, and to build a life, that is where these 3 nations diverge the most dramatically. So what's the biggest risk in studying in the USA? Well, it's not the academics. It's the incredibly anxiety-inducing reality of trying to actually stay there after you graduate. 18%. Yep, that is the staggeringly low H-1B visa lottery acceptance rate based on recent data. That means 82 out of 100 highly skilled graduates fail to get the visa they need to stay. You could literally graduate with a 4.0 GPA, but your future essentially comes down to drawing a winning lottery ticket.
And it gets even more complex for specific demographics. For Indian nationals, even if you are one of the lucky 18% who actually win that H-1B lottery, the wait for an employment-based green card stretches into several decades. The backlog is so massive that it extends way beyond any realistic long-term planning horizon for most families.
Comparing the post-study pathways side by side builds a really stark contrast. While the USA presents high lottery risks and massive backlogs, Canada offers a highly predictable route to permanent residency in 2 to 3 years, and there is 0 lottery required. Meanwhile, Ireland uniquely offers a 5-year, lottery-free path to full EU citizenship.
Section 3. Salaries and tech hubs, where the jobs and the money actually are.
Okay, yes, the USA has the highest global tech salaries by a mile. We're talking total compensation packages of $170,000 to $220,000 for entry-level FANG roles. It sounds amazing, right? But a real-world adjustment is absolutely required here. If you're in California, you might face an effective tax rate pushing 50%, plus you'll likely drop $3,000 or more a month in rent just to live in a shoebox-sized apartment. Let's break down these tech hub realities a bit further.
The USA gives you the highest total compensation, but obviously paired with the highest cost of living. Canada provides steady, reliable jobs in major cities like Toronto and Vancouver, though the pay ceiling is noticeably lower than down in the US. But then, look at Ireland. Dublin actually serves as the European headquarters for titans like Google, Meta, and Apple. This creates a very unique concentration of highly competitive EU salaries, especially if you're in technology or the life sciences.
Section 4. Safety and Quality of Life. The honest, statistical picture of daily life.
Let's start with Ireland. According to the highly respected 2024 Global Peace Index, Ireland ranks as the number 3 most peaceful country in the entire world, right behind Iceland and Denmark. From a pure statistical standpoint for personal security, it is incredibly stable.
Canada also ranks extremely well on this same index, coming in at number 11 globally. This tells us that it remains statistically one of the safest major countries for international residents to study, work, and build a life in.
The USA, however, presents a very different statistical reality. It ranks 132nd out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. This much lower ranking is driven by documented structural issues, which include a gun violence rate of 12.8 per 100,000 people and tracking over 300 campus shooting incidents in 2023 alone. It's a tough fact, but it's a data point that prospective students really have to weigh carefully.
At the same time, it's really vital to impartially report on the shifting social climates happening globally. Both Canada and Ireland have seen rising documented anti-immigrant pushback and protests in 2024 and 2025. Now, while these incidents in Canada and Ireland rarely target university campuses directly, they definitely represent a shift in the public discourse. Over in the US, the social climate and safety risks vary massively depending on whether you happen to be in a quiet rural college town or right in the middle of a dense urban center.
Section 5. Your Decision Framework. Matching your priorities to the correct country.
When we synthesize all this data, the truth is there is no single, universally correct answer. It's about what you want. If your primary goal is maximum wealth, and you're willing to accept the high lottery risks to get it, choose the USA. If you prioritize guaranteed stability for your family, Canada wins. And if you want high-tier affordability mixed with ultimate European mobility, well, Ireland is your answer.
Actually, that right there is the hidden superpower of the Irish route that so many people overlook. By accepting a slightly lower initial salary cap out of the gate, you are put on a 5-year path to a passport that grants you the right to live and work seamlessly across all 27 European Union member states. You are unlocking an entire continent's job market without any further immigration risk.
So we conclude with this. You've got the objective data now, you understand the very real risks, and you see the potential rewards. As you prepare to make what is likely the biggest financial and personal investment of your entire life, which of these 3 distinct futures are you willing to optimize for? Which path is truly worth your family's savings? Take this framework, apply it to your own life priorities, and choose the path that serves your future best.